My name is Simon Baldwin. I own a transport company. We subcontract multi-drop routes, delivery work basically, off the likes of TNT, UK Mail, DPD, all the main parcel carriers that you may have seen driving about. They're actually people like myself, have those vans, and we actually carry out the deliveries on behalf of these companies as a subcontract arrangement. Our company's called Deadline Logistics, LLP. We've been in this line of business now for 15 years. The situation that I had that necessitated me to contact Pete at Insolvency Law was we were hiring lorries from a company. Now we were hiring lorries from them for about 7-8 months, and unfortunately the relationship was becoming sour due to service issues, financial issues where they were taking too much money directly from our bank account, which hire companies are able to do, where you give them a debit card number. The situation became that bad that the business relationship broke down, and after that we were suddenly hit with approximately £34,000 worth of invoices that were just basically complete and utter fabrication. We then were threatened with being wound up, being bankrupted obviously as a company. At the time we had a big contract with a company called, which was a subsidiary of the electrical retailer, and such that we could not get involved in being basically wound up. I contacted Insolvency Law, Pete Murray, and obviously gave him the case details, and that's where basically our relationship started. I found out about Insolvency Law by putting in Winding Up Petitions, defending them and making Winding Up Petitions on Google. Insolvency Law came up. I don't believe, from memory, it was top of the list because I tend not to go with the ones at the top of the list. I probably would have been 3 or 4 down. It was in London, which is obviously where I would always deal, which is what I was looking for. And then I made the initial call to Pete. My first conversation with Insolvency Law, Pete Murray, was, I remember Pete immediately made you feel at ease. He immediately wasn't overawed by the situation. It was a concern to us at the time. It was a massive concern because they were a big company, aggressive company. They had some aggressive solicitors onto us as well. And there's a lot of money that they were chasing, which was incorrect. The best thing when I was first talking to Pete was when we started just discussing the money element, was the fact that he gave such great value for money opportunity compared to other insolvency law practitioners and other bands of solicitors, lawyers that chase in claims or protect you possibly from winding up petitions. When we were sitting down talking initially over the phone, and obviously the conversation came on to cost, it was almost a case of, right, how much can you afford at the moment? We're going to be looking at this, so Simon, how does that fit in? We'll put X amount down to start the ball rolling. I'll take the case on. I appreciate funds are going to be tough. It was fantastic. I cannot say enough in words for how Pete's value for money, how Pete offers value for money, and almost down you could discuss and adjust the situation to suit your financial means. In our industry, the transport industry, the courier industry, the parcel and pallet industry, call it what you may, people hear me say it's a very dirty, mucky business. It's cutthroat business. Everyone is cost cutting rates. You also come across lots and lots of companies that don't like to pay their bills to you. You outlay lots of money on paying wages, fuel, vehicle cost to carry out the deliveries, None of them pay you within 60 days, and more often than not you'll find the type of companies that you subcontract to, they are under serious financial restrictions and pressures, and then you find situations where you're not paid, and it's not £100 or £200, it is thousands of pounds. You then have to engage people like, well, Pete, obviously, Insolvency Law, to fight these people for this money, pursue them, because they just don't pay. There's no other reason for it. And equally, as I said earlier in the interview, there are a number of companies out there, vehicle rental companies, fuel companies, that like to, you end up falling out with them potentially. They ramp up rates without telling you. They then demand money that you don't actually owe. And then again, it happens a lot in our game, a lot. Before I contacted Insolvency Law, I was looking at this £24,000, £25,000 winding up petition. It was a very aggressive band of solicitors that were chasing us. At the time, we obviously didn't have that money. We didn't owe that money. We were legally tied into a big contract that we'd secured with a blue chip company. And all of a sudden, there I was. This was a 7-day-a-week operation, 14, 15 hours a day. And we were then looking at a great bundle of court papers. We'd been told verbally and we had in writing, we literally had 7 days to pay this money, or they would be applying for winding up petition. I don't remember if there wasn't a judgment, I don't think, at this stage. However, it was desperate measures. However, after having spoke to Pete, as I said, it was almost as if it wasn't a problem. It was going to be easily rectified because we did not owe that money. And there was all manners of things that this company, that I didn't know would have to happen before they could get anywhere near getting this winding up petition presented to court. And Pete basically was just going to take it in hand. I would fully recommend Insolvency Law to not only other directors of obviously of transport companies. The information and the advice given is professional, straight to the point. As I said earlier in the piece, value for money is probably second to none. So anyone that's any difficulty with wanting to wind a debtor up or protect themselves from a winding up order, Insolvency Law is your company.